Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Fandom Empire Live, Thursday night, 8 minutes after 8 here on the East Coast, just outside Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'm one of your hosts this evening, Sean. Thank you for spending the next hour or so of your time, preferably the next hour and a half of your time, because immediately following this show, we have Fandom News Now. Fun show in store for everybody tonight. Got some things to address Fandom Empire related off the top here tonight, so we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Great to see everybody out in the chat. By the way, a bunch of you have reached out privately over the last few days, sending your thoughts and prayers and well wishes to Jade during this time, so greatly appreciated. I know she appreciates it. And so let's have an enjoyable Thursday night show, and let's have some fun with it. Introducing the people you're really here to see, our guest hosts, or I guess co-hosts for this evening. First up, he is the host of the Rick and Morty fan show. It's Mr. Kieran. What's happening, man? Rocking the Blue Jays jersey.
Yeah. Actually, we had Jersey Day at my school today. So I wore 5 jerseys. I wore a Blue Jays jersey, and I wore a Houston Rockets jersey over top of that, and I wore a Cincinnati Bengals jersey that I had floating around, and I wore a Montreal Canadiens jersey, and on top of that, I wore a jersey that I have for an old, I think it's International Hockey League jersey, the San Francisco Spiders. So I probably haven't heard of that before, but it's a really cool looking Spider-Man type jersey.
That is a random mix of teams you had there. The Bengals jersey you can throw into a fire pit and light on fire because holy crap are they ugly.
It's Ocho Cinco, man.
Chad Johnson?
No, he changed his name. Chad Ocho Cinco.
He's still Johnson to me. Also joining us, not only is he the host of Fandom News Now, he is the host of the Intergalactic Peace Coalition for like 6 years now, and also you can catch him doing his Cult Varsity stuff over on his Mixler page. It's Mr. Zach Arnold. What's happening, dude?
Hey, dude, thanks for having me. It's been a hot minute since I've been on anything outside of Fandom News Now, and that's partly on me because, like you said, juggling a couple of other things, but staying afloat, staying alive, and happy to be here.
Happy to have you. We have some unique topics to get to tonight. You'll notice that the Halloween was not forefront on tonight's discussion, and so the audience numbers are a bit down. That, and I do know there are people having access issues to certain YouTube streams, which has me thinking of possibly canceling a stream I have set for 4 o'clock in the morning. Because what's the point of doing that if YouTube's going to have issues? So to those of you that are watching after the fact that couldn't get in during, apologies. We don't control what goes on with YouTube. Those of you that are watching now, awesome. No, we're going to talk about a whole bunch tonight. Just going to list some of the stuff off the top. We're going to start with some Fandom Empire news. If you watch the Facebook group, specifically the Fandom Empire Den, you're probably aware of a pretty significant change we've made going forward. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, the rumors surrounding it, and where to have expectations, or if expectations are already sort of like off on rails and won't come back at this point. We're going to talk about what makes Halloween 4 a great Halloween sequel. Because, I love Halloween 4, and whenever I have an excuse to talk about that film, I'm going to. Somehow, some way, the Blue Jays jersey up there has somehow willed a Leprechaun sequel into existence, or at least the planning of one. Unbelievable that you have been going on about this for weeks, if not over a month, and now we get word that there may be a sequel coming. And this word wasn't out anywhere prior to you going on about this. So that's lottery ticket territory, my friend. Lottery ticket territory.
I forgot to mention that I'm actually a deity.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not, and some people consider me a god.
Well, I mean, whatever floats their boat.
Same people that found C-3PO to be a god, because we all know their judgment was sorely lacking.
I believe they were called
I haven't been to
Ewoks.
Endor.
I still have the Kieran Funko Pop on my desk from the other night, aka Luke from The Last Jedi.
Too much fun with that.
Oh, way too much fun. It's in front of me. I'm worse than my 14-month-old. I'm sitting here. I look at it. I see a toy, and I just have to play with it. Different kind of show, though. If you're thinking,
That's what she said.
Oh man! All right, let's dive into some of the Fandom Empire news we got here for tonight, and that is, I sat down and I had a discussion with the other hosts of the Fandom Empire Star Wars show, and if you're new to the channel, then you know we had the Fandom Empire Star Wars show. We have the Across the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, which is currently on hiatus at the moment because Ian is going through some stuff with moving, which was not... I don't want to reveal too much here because it's quite personal. Basically, if you went to move, it's one of the biggest disasters you could have ever run into, and he's trying to sort all that out. It will definitely be back. However... we made the creative decision moving forward that we would not continue with the Fandom Empire Star Wars show. And the reason for that being is we've had a lot of you request that we do Fandom Empire Live more regularly, which means more than once a week. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly don't have any more free time. So that meant axing something, and we axed the Fandom Empire Star Wars show. That doesn't mean we're not going to talk about Star Wars on here. When there's something Star Wars to talk about, and we can actually dive into a little bit tonight, we'll talk about it. And obviously the old school, I can't remember how to pronounce the guy's name, but the old school Samurai Jack style Clone Wars cartoon that's no longer canon is going to be available on Disney+. I'm curious if it's just going to be the micros or the season 2 that followed, which were significantly longer episodes. Hopefully it's both. But yeah, you'll still have Star Wars talk here on the channel.
Now you'll know one way or another.
Ooh, Zach has the answer. Man,
Nice.
gonna have to get a ticket for that show.
It's still canon to me, damn it.
Sorry, my audio is a little screwy here. So we're still gonna talk Star Wars. It's not disappearing from the channel to Toronto Freddy's great, displeasure. But yeah, no, we made the decision to go Tuesdays and Thursdays as Fandom Empire Live. It was a decision primarily based because there's not a whole lot of Star Wars stuff going on right now. And I know that the Bad Batch is like literally a month and a half, 2 months away. And then you have the Clone Wars coming back on Disney Plus and, the Book of Boba Fett later on. And worry not. We're still going to do Star Wars, but this allows us to tackle so many other things. And it was just the right creative decision to make. So there you have it. Fandom Empire Live will follow the Rick and Morty fan show each and every Tuesday night. And also, we've talked about wanting to do more watch-alongs on the channel, and finding time to do that is not easy. And changing that from a Star Wars show to a Fandom Empire Live show, it kind of opens up our Tuesday nights for the odd watch-along here and there. So be on the lookout for that. Guys, let's get right to it. Let's dive into the Spider-Man stuff. Those of you that know, Spider-Man No Way Home is currently slated for a December 2021 release. I think expectations for this film are already out of whack. Kind of like, now, I did not watch WandaVision. I seen like the first 2 episodes and I gave up on it. But I know there was a bunch of backlash because
That's your loss.
Everybody had expectations of just massive cameos at the end. And normally I will blame fans for that, getting expectations out of whack, because it's the worst thing you can do for yourself. But when you have multiple cast members come out and compare it to the end of Mandalorian Season 2 and how big the surprise is going to be at the end, and then nothing really happens, it's definitely not on the fans at that point, in my opinion, guys. Now, to their credit, as we switch back to Spider-Man here a bit, it's not like they've come out and said, hey, Toby and Andrew are in this film. Marvel, Feige and company have never said that. But the problem is you've had places like Hollywood Reporter, like Variety, all but confirm that these two are in the movie. Now, until I see something on screen, I'm going to assume nothing. I've been burnt too many times. I hope they're there, but I feel like when I look on whether it's Reddit or YouTube comments or Facebook or Twitter, the number one thing that keeps popping up, guys, is the movie is these three. It's got to be these three. It worries me because what happens if the other two guys, Toby and Andrew, are not in this movie? If they're not in this movie, I'm of the opinion the movie, in terms of most fans, is probably going to be a big letdown. It could be the greatest movie of all time, but when you get big trades, like, it's one thing when, like, if we come out here and put something on Fandom Empire, you know, with our 2,700 subscribers, and when, you know, somewhere like Hollywood Reporter reports that Andrew Garfield is in Georgia and is in fact filming. So I think it's different when they put it out because millions see it and not hundreds or thousands. Where are you guys with this? I'm really worried about this movie in terms of how it's going to be received by the audience, the general audience, with all the rumors that are out there right now.
I wouldn't be worried at all if I went to the movies and the other Spider-Men were not in the movie. I'm assuming, based on Marvel's track record, it's going to be a fucking awesome movie anyways. So I don't know, like, I would never be like, oh man, that was awesome, but I really wish that, you know, Tobey Maguire was in it. Like, I mean, that's cool, and it's a great rumor, and it's a rumor that everyone believes is 100% true. Like, everyone I've talked to thinks that this is 100% happening, and I mean, even me, I've seen enough of it that I'm kind of expecting, like, probably, you know, 95% that they're going to have even decent roles in the movie. But I mean, I don't remember the last Marvel movie I didn't enjoy at all. I mean, no, I don't remember. So if it's anything like Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, the last Spider-Man movie, you know, if it's anything like any of those, it will be awesome. And I'm not going to say like, oh man, it was awesome, but since it didn't have those, I'm gonna pan it. Like, I don't understand the thinking behind that.
I just think people's expectations get out of whack when big places report on things like this. And again, it's really easy to be like, you know, oh, you know, I can't wait to see this movie because so-and-so's in it. You know, again, it's different than, you know, Bob the Builder's Playhouse Forum reporting on something and a Hollywood Reporter or a Variety.
Don't you trash Bob the Builder's reporting palace something or other. That might exist.
Look, at the end of the day, I've loved both of the Spider-Man films they've put out so far. So even if they're not in it, I think that it's going to be a good film. But boy, if they're not in it, there's going to be some... Oh, I'm probably going to have to avoid reading anything online about the movie after seeing it if they're not in it. Because it's going to be bad. It's going to get ugly. Zach, how about you, man? Where do you fall on this?
You know, listening to you guys' thoughts and then also, you know, just reading some of the different forums that I'm a part of, I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to try my best to give Marvel the benefit of the doubt if I can, because I've done that for just about every other film that they've done, and they've knocked it out of the park like every freaking time. So, much like Kieran, I have faith in Marvel, and if this was a different universe, if this was a different franchise, if we were talking about, say, the Flashpoint movie, and we're saying Grant Gustin from the CW Flash had better be one of the Flashes that shows up in Flashpoint, and if he doesn't, then the movie's crap. That's a pretty legit argument, in my opinion. I feel like Grant Gustin is one of the best iterations of the Flash live action or cartoon that we've ever gotten. And if he doesn't make his way into Flashpoint, I'm going to be fucking pissed. But if Marvel has a different idea for what they want to do with with the Spider-Man series, then I'll give them the benefit of the doubt way more than I'll give DC the benefit of the doubt. And this is coming from someone who hasn't even seen the Snyder Cut yet. You know, it's out, but I haven't gotten around to seeing it because...
Oh, did we lose Zach? I think we might have lost Zach. Hadn't got around to seeing it because... Oh, no.
Yeah, talk about a cliffhanger.
Feige has silenced him.
Why has he not seen it? Nobody knows.
He's trapped in his weird little vortex thing he's got going on there.
It's the fucking... You're not knowing anything about Star Trek bothers me.
Yeah, I'm out to lunch on Star Trek, man. It's the one I could probably reference most would be the first Abrams one. That's probably what I know the most about it, and even then, it's not very much.
All right, well, let's just say
his computer is doing random updates. And now we got giant size Kieran, so we're having all sorts of YouTube-y tech issues here tonight. We'll do our best to work through it and navigate through it. There's only so much we control, and what we don't control, well, fuck it. Anyways, I get where Zach was going with that, and I know rumors rock, but the problem is, you know, should you take everything as a rumor? Yeah, but when you get some legitimate places reporting or their reporters, you have to wonder, you know, how much of it's true, how much of it's not. Oh, Andrew Garfield pissed off some Uber driver or whatever, Uber Eats person in Atlanta, Georgia. Why is he in Atlanta, Georgia? Well, because that's where Spider-Man was filming. Who knows? I mean, I can think of a couple people that probably know, but not going to get answers from them. It's, I don't know. The best way I can possibly put it is to manage expectations, hope for a really good film, hope for a really good film that doesn't include those two, and if you get those two, then all the better. You know, I think it'd be great. Kieran, how about you? I know
I think what we're both saying is just that, like, and I agree 100% with Zach. I don't do this for every movie company, but like Marvel's had an unprecedented, ridiculous run. Like, they use the same formula for almost every movie, and they're still good. Like, they just, like, all of the, like, Thors and Iron Mans and Spider-Mans and everything they've done has the same sort of formula. It's constant jokes that kind of belittle, like, even the superhero, like, type of thing. Like, they make jokes about the tights, and they make jokes about, like, you know, Iron Man pees in the suit and all sorts of, like, dumb things, and they crack jokes in the middle of fights, like, Captain America, watch your language, or Captain America says, like, language, everybody, and, like, that stuff all happens, and you think you would get bored of it, but it never gets boring, and I mean, some people can say they don't like it, but fucking billions of people are telling you they like it when they spend, you know, like, their hard-earned dollars on your, like, 30th movie in a franchise. Like, it's crazy. So yes, when they bring out Spider-Man, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't care who's in it. They could do anything. They could decide that Spider-Man's not even going to have a villain in one. And, you know, I don't know. They could tell me they were going to do fucking, what's that Tom Hanks movie where he's on the island? They could do Castaway with Spider-Man, and I'd be like, well, it's Marvel, so I'll check it out. It's probably going to be good anyways. Like, they just have such a good track record. It doesn't matter. I will give them the benefit of the doubt and see the movie. And if it's good, I'll give them props.
I mean, they do have a good track record. I always get
it's ridiculous track record.
I get confused though with. I don't think it's flawless. They've had some misses. Not everything's been perfect.
But even the ones that weren't perfect still made a lot of money. Like
for sure. Financially, they've been really good, basically unstoppable. So, and we know that's the way they look at it first is finances and critical reviews. It is what it is. I could be reading too much into it. I feel like I've learned a lot over the years in terms of how fan bases react to certain things. I think one of the things that killed people with The Last Jedi was like the easiest thing Rian Johnson could have done is have Luke Skywalker use a green lightsaber. And I know we see it in the flashback, but it's like, even when Vision Luke fights Kylo Ren, it's like, why the fuck's he using the blue one? Like, talk about, like, I'm not saying alienate your fan base, but like, it's such a minor thing that you could have done to please the fans, and you just decided not to. It's not casting two, obviously, Hollywood megastars to be in a movie. I'm of the opinion, don't do something unless it benefits the story. Like, if we see Toby and Andrew, I don't want to just be like, hey, how's it going? This random weird crossover thing for 2 minutes and then they're gone. Like, there's got to be some narrative purpose for those characters to be in the movie, because if there's not, and this is probably going to give me a lot of hate, then I wouldn't want to see it. It's got to serve the story.
I honestly think that they will be there to give him advice, would be my guess. I think that Spider-Man will be stuck somewhere, not know where the fuck, what the fuck to do, and be caught in some sort of snag, and then in some sort of weird interdimensional way, I think that those guys will be there to give him advice and support him. And I kind of think it'll be, I don't think they're all three Spider-Man are going to come in and fight and do all that and whatever. I think that it'll be more that sort of thing. That was my first guess at how they could put those guys in there.
Yeah, I have a feeling one of them is going to be more, if they are in the movie, one of them is going to be more significantly involved than the other. I don't see this being, I'd be thrilled if it happened, but I don't think it's going to end up being like, hey, they just appear at the end and then we're going to get a Spider-Man 4, which features all three of them as like main characters. I would love for that to happen. I don't think there's a chance in hell it happens. I think their roles are relatively minor if they're in the movie. But again, I hope it serves the story. Like, I don't want it to be, oh, I landed in this random dimension and, oh, hey, there's Spider-Man fighting Dr. Octopus and he's like seeing everything from Spider-Man 2 and, somehow it changes what happens. I don't want to see something like that. Again, it's not about what I want. It's about what serves the story and what serves the movie going forward. Zach's computer ended up having random updates that did not give him the option to postpone. So we've lost Zach for a few. Let's keep this ball rolling, man. Snyder Cut, you and I haven't seen it. Please keep spoilers out of the chat, everybody. One way or another, I'm going to see it Saturday night, whether it's just Jade and I or we do something else. We'll see. What are your expectations for it? Because, like, at the end of the day, it is still a different version of a movie we've already gotten.
I think, kind of like I said on Tuesday, I believe that this movie could be redone. Like, it's a movie I believe could be fixed with editing. Like, there are movies that can't be saved. There's movies I don't like that I'm like, man, I did not like that fucking movie one bit. Like, but this is a movie that I just thought the flow was weird. I thought the ending sequence didn't have a good payoff. But, like, if any of those things were left on the cutting room floor, then yeah. And there was some stuff reshot, right?
No, yeah, so they did reshoot quite a bit.
I don't feel like the movie was beyond help. I did like a lot of things. A lot of people there's a lot of people who think that Affleck was good as Batman. Just the movie was bad. People like The Flash. People like Aquaman. People like Gal Gadot. I know Wonder Woman 84 did not get great reviews. or not nearly what they wanted. But I don't think they hate Gal Gadot. So if you have everything, if you have a lot of good elements, you should have been able to make a good film. And if you could put in a couple extra things there, and I mean, we know it's going to be longer now. It's like 280 minutes or something dumb like that, isn't it?
All I know is it's 4 hours long. And the one complaint, I've read a bunch of non-spoiler reviews, and the one complaint I've gotten is, even people that have been looking forward to this and think that Zack Snyder is the second coming have said, yeah, it did not need to be 4 hours. They could have gotten away with 3 or 2:45. It definitely drags at times, and there's pacing issues. But more often than not, I've seen that people really genuinely enjoy this cut of the film. And that's great, but kind of like what I talked about the other night, it's like how many people are really enjoying the cut of the film and how many people are comparing it to that absolute dumpster fire of a movie we got a few years ago and being like, well, at least it's not that. So it's, it's great. My problem, I think the one of the reasons why I looked so negatively on Justice League, other than the fact I think it's a bad movie, the theatrical Joss Whedon version, that is Jade, Zachary, and I went to see Thor Ragnarok on a Friday night and then seeing Justice League on a Saturday morning. And it was like, oh, that was a mistake, because Thor Ragnarok is literally my favorite MCU movie. And to follow that up with Justice League was not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. I agree with that. Ragnarok is definitely in my top 3. I don't even know. I haven't really thought about my top Marvel movies, but it would be in the top 3. So yeah, I would agree with that. And seeing that and then seeing Justice League would probably be a problem. But yeah. So that definitely could have affected you. But the only way to find out is to watch it yourself. Like, if you read spoiler or non-spoiler reviews, like, they give you someone else's opinion. Like, someone could tell you there was pacing issues, and it could be because they don't ever watch 4-hour-long movies or binge things, and, like, they do not have the, attention span to do it, which is a lot of people these days. So it could be anything. The only thing to do is to watch it. I'm going to watch it for sure. I should watch it soon. And I hope that it's, I hope that it's good. And I won't read nothing until I see it. I don't really care about anyone else's opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I feel the same about that. I think when a film has pacing issues, it's not subjective. It either has pacing issues or doesn't have pacing issues. You can still you can love a film that has pacing issues, but some films flow very well and some films don't. Like, for example,
someone could tell you that. Someone could tell you that. Like, I could tell you, like, well, I could go online right now and be like, Thor Ragnarok has pacing issues. And you'd be like,
for anybody could say whatever they want, no doubt. I think one example that would be like, you can love Joker as much as you want, but that movie is a slow burn. I'm okay with that because I like slow burn movies. It's a slow paced movie.
You'd say that has pacing issues though?
No, I'm saying the movie itself's a slow burn. It's you got to be prepared to watch a slow burn style movie. Joker, The Shining.
I didn't think that, but I know what you mean.
Oh wow! See, maybe it is subjective, but
for Joker. But like, if you're talking about like No Country for Old Men or like something like that, then that's, or Ad Astra that recently came out. Like, that was a slow movie.
Zombies is not a slow burn. Zach is back with us.
He's the leprechaun.
Dude, you're about to break into your thoughts on fan expectations and the reports of Andrew and Toby on Spider-Man, and then we'll move on from there.
I'm still kind of at a loss as far as what just happened, because I didn't even get a notification from my computer saying, hey, you need to do this system update. And then I'm like in the middle of a sentence, live on the air, and it just goes blue and says restarting. And I'm like, what the actual ever of the fuck? It was ridiculous. My expectations are kind of medium, especially after what I saw from WandaVision. Like, WandaVision was still good even without the cameos. And it did kind of affect my viewership because I was expecting somebody like Cumberbatch or Patrick Stewart or somebody like that to show up, and they didn't. So I do still have kind of mixed feelings about the WandaVision finale, but overall the series is good. And I feel like that's probably how I'll end up being with Spider-Man because, you know, even if it doesn't have Maguire or Garfield, I'll still probably end up enjoying it, but I'll probably have mixed feelings about how they could have done this, and yet they didn't. So, you know, I'm willing to give Marvel the benefit of the doubt if that's not the case, because it's Marvel, and like 95 times out of 100, they're hitting home runs with stuff. So I'm willing to wait and see what happens.
I don't know. Like, for example, in Far From Home, I love that movie. I actually like Far From Home way better than Homecoming. I think Jake, as good as Michael Keaton is in Homecoming, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was amazing in Far From Home. Far From Home. Far From Home. The second one, Spider-Man 2. Damn it. Fuck these subtitles. I thought he was great, like to the point where he's now one of my favorite on-screen Spider-Man villains. And if they didn't give us Toby and Andrew, but we ended up somehow getting Jake Gyllenhaal again because maybe he didn't die at the end and it's all in Peter's head, sort of thing, I'd sign off on that because I thought he was that good in the movie. What do you guys think about Gyllenhaal and Far From Home? I haven't talked about this too much on air anywhere.
I liked him. I just didn't know a whole lot about his character going into it, so it was hard for me to be able to do any kind of comparisons or contrasts. But as just an individual character, I do still like the Michael Keaton component a little bit more. I feel like he's just got a little bit better motivation than a disgruntled employee. But being a somewhat disgruntled employee myself, I get where he's coming from. But I feel like Keaton had a better story and a better reason for being a villain. That being said, I was rather fooled by Gyllenhaal's character up until he revealed himself to be who he was. And he did leave a more lasting impact in that finale by doing the name drop. At least Keaton had the civility to keep it internal and, you know, keep it to himself. But Gyllenhaal went petty as fuck and broadcast it to the world. So that really opened things for storytelling. But I don't know if it opened a whole lot for his character. I think I enjoyed Keaton's character more.
Well, speaking of the Spider-Man universe and the MCU and movies in general, Venom 2, which if you'll remember, we talked about on this channel a couple of months ago and pointed out that it was highly likely that it would get pushed back to fall, has been, in fact, pushed back to fall. The fall movie season, gentlemen, is just kind of ridiculous. I did not get time to write out a list before I came on here, but like just to name some of the movies that are going to come out in like a 2-month span. You're talking Venom 2. You're talking Halloween Kills. Talking Dune. And a whole lot more. I hate that I don't have this in front of me. I think Candyman is still slated in that time.
Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible is November. James Bond, No Time to Die. All I know is, like, there are, like, basically 8 or 9 movies that all have the potential to bring in $200+ million at the box office in about 2 months. And I can't help but think to myself, okay, well, not everybody's going to go see all these movies. They're just not. People are going to be picky and choosy about what they go to see. You know, vaccine or not, Canada or America, doesn't really matter. You're not these. To me, it's impossible. Like, if all these movies came out in 2019 at the same time of the year compared to 2021, I think they would have made a lot more money. I think some of these movies are going to fall victim of there just being way too much coming out in a 2-month span. To the point where I still think you're going to see some delays and some push forwards. It's a log jam of movies coming out. What about you guys? Do you think I'm overstating this or spot on or different opinion? I just see all these movies being in a bit of trouble.
I think you're 100% saying it's it's clogged. It's definitely clogged. Like it's definitely crazy. You try not to get any of these movies in the theater at the same time, like as best you can normally, and now it's not possible to not have them overlap. But I would say that there's a good possibility some of them will end up getting pushed back farther. So, I think every time they seem to push things back, it's like a few months, and then they're like, we'll be better by then. And then, fucking nothing. The things do not get better, and then they get pushed back more. So you just got to go by, like a movie like Spider-Man wants to break records, and you can't do that if some places are empty, some places are half capacity, some places are, doing different things. And if you're Spider-Man 3, you want to be, smashing records or at least doing what Marvel normally does and come pretty damn close every single movie, So I would say don't hold your breath for this mega season to actually happen. But some things are going to come out then, because some things are just going to say like, well, fuck it, we got to do it while some theaters are open.
Yeah, I think that some movies are definitely going to move, even if it's by a couple of weeks. I do think one of the issues that's currently out there is the fact that there is so much in such a short amount of time. And like, even Zach, I know you love going to the movies, and Jade and I love going to the movies. Even if theaters are open here at full capacity come fall, there's just no way in 2 months I'm going to be able to go see 6, 7, 8 blockbuster films in a 2-month period. It's just not possible. One, financially, you're going to get killed, because I guarantee you when movie theaters are open, and I know some are going to be like, it's still open in the States. Not really. You can go see a movie, but there's not a whole lot that's new that's out there right now. I know, Zach, you just went to see a movie with some people. When we get to fall and all these movies come out, prices are going up, people. Prices are going way up. It's not going to be discount movie season. So prepare to spend more to go see the movie, whether it's prices for concessions, prices for tickets, or prices for both that go up. I can already tell you that that is something they're preparing for here in Canada. And I couldn't imagine spending, for 2 people to go see 8 movies in a 2-month period with concessions. Like, what is that? $500, $600? Have to be close. Do it. So I couldn't. And then the other option is some of these movies are going to be available on premium video on demand. You're going to have to pick and choose what ones you'd rather see in a movie theater and which ones you want to see at the comfort of your own home. Zach, how about you, man? I know you're a big movie guy, but like, could you see yourself going to theater 7 or 8 times in a 2-month period and dropping just a whack of dough?
I don't see myself dropping a whack of dough, because I'm frugal when it comes to my movie going experience. So I only really get food if it's payday, and that's really only if I'm at like a dine-in type of place. If it's just a standard place, I've got this AMC rewards thing that gives me an upgraded drink for the price of the size below it, so I can get like a large for the price of a medium kind of thing. And then I'll smuggle in like a package of Junior Mints from the dollar store down the street or something like that, and that usually gets me by. So I usually don't spend a whole lot of money on concessions. I do see ticket prices potentially going up. I do see concession prices potentially going up. I don't see it affecting me quite as much, because here in the States, they've got this thing called AMC A-List, which I'm a subscriber to, where you can see 3 movies a week for a flat rate. And
do you think they're going to continue to have that, though, when it reopens? Or are they going to get rid of that?
They are 100% reopening it. They're sending us regular updates on when they're expecting to reopen it. Originally, they had talked about opening it back up in March and just start charging us again in March. The rollout didn't happen quite at the pace that they expected it to, so they're going to reopen it in May, I believe. But Mondo, he and I are both A-list subscribers, and we are both going to continue our subscription. And when this fall slate comes around, we're going to take full advantage of paying $25-$30 a month to be able to go see 3 movies a week.
Well, that'd be something, and I hope that it does follow through. But I know there's been a lot of talk behind the scenes that they might do away with stuff like that. But hopefully AMC stays up strong because their stock is doing real well right now.
Here's the problem with AMC. They need the money. However they can get it. They have been hemorrhaging cash since the lockdown. And for them to have butts in seats is huge, hugely important. And so I don't see them discontinuing their subscription service at a time when they need people to be going back into the theaters. They only make 10% of ticket sales anyways. That's a universal constant across the board. The movies themselves reap 90% of the profits of ticket sales. And so if you're paying $14 for a ticket, the movie theater's only getting $1.40 of that anyways. So their subscription-based content is where they're getting a lot of people to be paying for the movies that they're going to be going to see. And then if a theater is looking to make a profit, then that's where you'll see the increased price in concessions. Because the reason they charge, $40 or whatever is because all 40 of that goes to the movie theater. Doesn't go to the movie company. So I see subscriptions, particularly for AMC, staying open. Cinemark has been doing a thing where you can rent out a theater for 20 people for like 100 or 150 US bucks, and you can watch a movie with like a private party. I see that continuing as a way of allowing like a COVID safe gathering for people who maybe don't have the vaccine or don't want to be around people yet. Theaters are finding a workaround, and I think AMC's subscription service is going to be a big one for that, at least for the time being.
I definitely don't want to start like a debate or argument here because we don't have time for it, and I definitely respect Zach's opinion, but I'm pretty sure you're way off on what a movie theater gets for a ticket in 2021.
No, dude, no.
I'm pretty sure if you Google it right now, it's 40%, 40 or 45% of every ticket.
No, not even close. I have been in contact with people in the industry. I'm a communications major. This is stuff that shows up in the college textbooks when you're taking the classes. There is like empirical research that shows theaters only get 10%, 15 at the max, and that's if it's a big place like the Chinese Theater downtown Hollywood.
Well, we'll have to leave that one for another time. It'd be cool to jump into it, figure out who's closer. They should get more, but I was pretty positive that
I agree, but they get fucked over way more than they get anything close to 40%.
Yeah. Anyways, let's keep this ball rolling. Sorry, lost my train of thought here, boys. Super chat, Matt Whitfield, $15. So, should I stay up late and watch Justice League? Is it worth it? Well, I don't. Zach, you said you haven't seen it yet, right?
I've not.
Yeah, no, it's 4 hours. 4 hours, Matt. I think you're same coast as me. So if you start after, say, Fandom News now, you might be done by, washroom break, food break, 2:30 in the morning. No, thank you. Although there's currently a stream scheduled on this channel for 4 o'clock in the morning. I can tell you, I do not know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. I have an alarm set to wake up and watch The Falcon and The Winter Soldier. And at the end of the day, I'm really fucking stoked for The Falcon and The Winter Soldier, guys. And what I was really stoked is I read this interview that said the main idea for this show actually came from the is it the airport sequence? Yeah, I think that's what it is. The airport sequence during Captain America Civil War, which is, I don't know if you guys remember that. I haven't seen that movie in a couple of years now, but like friggin' Sam and Bucky are just hilarious going up against Spider-Man in the airport. It's like, I could totally see where they get like the buddy cop movie idea from this. Kieran, how excited are you for this show? Are you more excited for this show than you were for WandaVision? I know people are super stoked about Loki as well. Kieran?
I was most excited about WandaVision. I really enjoy the character of Vision, and I really like Paul Bettany a lot. However, I'm pretty stoked for this as well. I was not disappointed by WandaVision. I don't know what to say, honestly. I'm as stoked as I would be for any other Marvel thing coming out, and we've already discussed that. Marvel stuff is awesome. So I'm. It's the same as the Star Wars content that's going to come out. It's Star Wars content, so I'm like at baseline probably going to like it. Like it doesn't mean I'm 100% going to like it, but the baseline is I will probably like it. And if it's really awesome, then I'll watch it again someday. If it's not, then probably, just not bother to revisit it.
Yeah, it does disappoint me that I gave up on WandaVision so easy, just because I have heard great things from Zach, things from you. There's a lot of people I respect out there, their opinion when it comes to like fandom related movie stuff or TV show stuff. But again, everybody's opinion is subjective. You talk to one person, they might love a movie, and they talk to another person, they might think it's dog shit. But typically with TV shows, you got to give it more than 2 episodes. I do hope, though, this nonsense that Disney, again, people might be thinking of being a little overly critical here, but this nonsense that Disney Plus and Disney as a company right now is pulling with these half-an-hour live-action TV shows, that is not at all what they promised. You go back and you listen to them announcing Disney Plus, and they're talking about The Mandalorian. They're talking about the MCU shows. This isn't reporters either. This is fucking Disney that's saying this, saying that we're getting 1-hour episodes of this shit. There hasn't been anything close to an hour. The Mandalorian, I think, had a 51-minute episode. And that includes credits, 51 or 52-minute episode. I get it, quality over quantity, but sometimes, and I know it was one of the biggest complaints with WandaVision, is there's some really fucking short episodes in there that don't feel like they make a full episode of TV. Zach, where are you with this? I know quality's over quantity, but like and I'm not saying we got to get Game of Thrones, because I don't think it's ever going to be that type of story building on Disney Plus, but like something close to it would be nice, or just keeping their word.
I mean, Game of Thrones is kind of the gold standard when it comes to keeping to a particular time constraint, keeping to their promises about world building and storytelling, even if that promise being kept means that it's going in a direction that people don't really care for. I think that's really what happened in the final season, was they kept to their promises, but it cost them in storytelling and people's interpretation of how it goes. But I am of the opinion that if you binge WandaVision, you'll come away satisfied with what you eventually saw in its entirety. Yes, the first 2 or 3 episodes are a bit of a slow burn, but once you get through that, you come to realize what it's got. I don't know if Mandalorian Season 2 lived up to that quite as much as WandaVision did. There were a couple of short episodes of Mando that I felt like, really? I waited a whole fucking week for this? I get it. I get feeling shortchanged in certain areas. But like you said, I don't know if I can hold Disney to HBO's standard. I just don't. I don't see that happening. I don't see that being realistic. I would like to see probably more like 45-minute-ish episodes, much like the ones that we see on network television. 42 to 46 would be nice. But I'm not the one making the call. So, I mean, it would be cool, but I'm definitely not going to hold that expectation or call their content crap if it doesn't hold to that expectation either.
I probably sound like a huge hypocrite here, but like, I do believe in quality over quantity. For example, there's a lot of TV shows that have like 22 episode seasons, or used to have 22 episode seasons, 24 episode seasons, even 20 episode seasons. And you're starting to see that scale back a lot now, whether it's 16 episodes, 15 episodes, 12 episodes, 13 episodes, some cases 10 episodes. And I find with the shows that are choosing to do this, the quality of the show is better because you have more money to spend across less episodes. But, like, we're already low on episodes for Disney+. Like, we're talking, in some case, Obi-Wan's supposed to be 6. The Mandalorian's 8. I think WandaVision was 9, guys. Was it 9? I believe it was 9.
9.
So you can't scale it back all that much more. So it's like, let's get the episode lengths up here a bit. We weren't expecting 20-plus episode seasons. I think a lot of people were expecting 10 to 12 like Netflix does for a lot, or 10 to 13 like Netflix does for a lot of shows. But if you're not going to do that and you're going to stay in this 6 to 9 range, stop giving us 25-minute episodes. It's cutting corners in terms of costs. And hopefully as each show, depending on the success of it, WandaVision we now know is done, and there isn't going to be a following season apparently. But for a show like The Mandalorian, with just ratings through the charts in the first 2 seasons, hopefully as it goes on here, Kieran, they decide that it's worth, okay, let's spend a little bit more money and let's get 8 40-minute episodes or 45-minute episodes instead of 3 25, a couple of 30, and a couple of 40. Where are you with this, man? I know you're, don't take this the wrong way, pretty easy guy to please, but like, at some point, do we not need to see something a little more than a regulated animated cartoon length?
No. I don't know. I actually enjoy shows that are 20, 25 minutes long. I like to be able to just watch a show and nice and quickly, and then I like to get into lots of different things. So a shorter show is great. Like I love, a lot of times I end up getting through shows that are shorter a lot quicker because sometimes I can watch them for 20 minutes, and sometimes I can watch one before I go to work. Sometimes I can watch one or I can watch 4 or 5 of them when I'm done my day and just want to relax. So I love episodes that are like that. When I'm binging series, when it comes to something that I'm waiting for, like The Mandalorian, sometimes I'm disappointed that it was short, but I don't find it really ever affects my opinion of the series. Sometimes I'm like, damn, but then I just wait. I'm just excited for next week. So it doesn't bother me too much. And I mean, I come from a time when everything was half an hour. Like, when I was a kid, nothing was ever an hour until HBO came around. Like, I don't remember any show I liked as a kid ever being an hour. And I don't mean cartoons. I mean, I was watching Frasier and Roseanne and all those sorts of shows, and they were always half an hour. Like, if something was an hour, you were like, wow, that's crazy. Is it 2 episodes? So that doesn't bother me. And I don't know. Yeah, it's just always like, if I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I don't have to fucking explain anything to you guys. No, I'm just kidding. That's obviously the reason why we have these shows. But yeah, a lot of times, like, I get through a show like, I think Trailer Park Boys is 24 minutes long. And I went through that whole thing so quickly because I could watch one in the morning. I could watch one, I think, while I was, doing anything. I could watch it on my phone while I was out. It's like I have to wait at the doctor's office for 20 minutes. I could watch an episode of Trailer Park Boys with my headphones on, of course. But I really respect the shorter length shows. It helps me personally. So,
Aaron, you sound like the television show equivalent of the phrase, "It's not about the length of the boat, but about the motion of the ocean."
Hey, my fucking boat is pretty long.
Debatable.
How is it debatable? How can that possibly be debatable?
Speaking of debates, Intel Wild sends in a $5 super chat. Shots fired. Movie theater ticket price fight. Bunch of emoji faces. How's it going, Intel? Hope I know you're probably out there still doing your work, man. Hopefully you're driving safe and that you're keeping well, my friend.
It's a good thing they're separated by a border. There'd be a fucking fist fight in here.
I tag in Kieran. I'll watch.
No, I would not get into a fist fight with Sean. I respect him too much. I just kick him in the nuts and run away.
Oh, where is it? Where's my button?
Good movie.
Kick him in the nuts and run away.
Cartman style.
Intriguing.
More or less.
Zach, do you have any expectations out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier here before we move on? Like, what do you hope to get from it?
Honestly, I don't know, dude, because the trailers that I've seen have felt kind of mixed about what we're supposed to expect of it. Like, is it supposed to be some sort of a rivalry? Is it supposed to be, like, regrouping and trying to figure out what to do after the loss of Cap? The first episode, I think, is titled R.I.P. Cap.
I was trying not to say that.
Well, too late.
Yeah, yeah, that is the episode title, which...
Public.
Yeah, I think it's almost like that title on the episode 1 soundtrack about Qui-Gon's funeral.
How is this a spoiler? We knew it was coming after Endgame, and Endgame's been out for 2 years.
I don't think it's a spoiler. I just think that it was a stupid title by that. What?
I guess I'm just a little confused why that was being censored, because it's not a spoiler and it's not like being hidden. It's public knowledge. So I just feel bad because I feel like I did something that I shouldn't have, but
no, don't feel bad. I'm saying it's a dumb title from them.
Round 2.
Like, I don't think you like. The problem is there was a bunch of rumors about Chris Evans returning as Captain America. How? We don't know.
Flashbacks, I think.
Super reputable sites too. You know, the main industry trades. And I think people were holding out hope that he would find a way to come back to the current timeline. And I think the first episode of this is probably going to put a quick and swift end to that possibility.
He is in the current timeline. He's just really fucking old.
I'm really okay with that, though. Like, there's so much other story in Marvel to be told that's not Captain America. Like, don't get me wrong, he's probably my favorite character, but after a while, it just gets old hat. It's time for something different, and that's probably the biggest expectation that I've got of... What the heck? I thought somebody was in the room with you, Kieran.
That tripped me out so bad because I'm so used to looking to my right and he's right there, and that started coming on the screen. It's like, whoa. I'm like, oh, right, he's not here.
A little forced perspective there.
I'm sorry. I'm just busy ruining the show. Go on.
I thought, like, wife was trying to sneak in and give you a drink or something out of the corner, and she didn't quite hide from the frame of the camera or something, and then you just keep bringing it closer and closer, and I'm like, nope, that's not your wife. That's a fucking leprechaun.
Jaws music starts playing. Dun,
seriously.
Scary Terry in the house. Even I know that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest expectation I have is to see how they do that type of storytelling without Chris Evans. Like, that's going to be the biggest thing is how do you move the MCU forward? How do you move this type of storyline forward without one of its titular characters? And it could be interesting, or it could be a clusterfuck. We're going to be finding out in a couple of weeks.
I'm pretty excited for this show, man. Like, my expectations are really, really high. Just because I've found both of these characters, although supporting characters in the later Avengers movies and Civil War, of course, they both bring a lot of entertainment value. But the question is, can they carry it on their own without a Tony Stark, without a Captain America, without a Hulk?
And given the recent success of how they told the WandaVision story, Wanda and Vision were both supporting heroes as well that showed up in other people's films. And then they got their own series, and it turned out to be really decent. So I have hopes that they'll be able to continue doing this, but I think, honestly, the one I'm looking forward to the most is the Loki series coming out this summer.
Loki is going to be huge for, a bunch of good reasons. Again, though, we know how that series starts. It's from something that happens in Endgame. And I wonder if Loki will come into play in the current timeline. I have to think that Loki gets back into the mix here and is going to be involved in the new Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, how can you have a Thor movie without having Loki? Like, that's like having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the jelly. Like, yeah, peanut butter sandwiches are great, but peanut butter and jelly is just awesome.
$5 super chat in from our boy Mitchell. How's it going, Mitch? Hopefully all is well with you, brother. Mitchell supporting the channel like he always does. Reaver says he's in it for the Bucky. The Bucky? You got a thing for him, man? No, I don't know. I think that I'm worried that I might have too high of expectations for this show. But everything we've seen for it looks really, really good. I do think one awkward thing's going to be, though, like if we do see a funeral for old man Captain America. Not saying we do because I have no idea. It could just be to the public he's dead sort of thing, But if we do, and then all of a sudden there's not a bunch of other Avenger characters around because of, budget constraints and having everybody on set at once, it's going to see a little forced. I know it's TV show magic, but I'm sure you've seen TV shows where a main character gets killed off, but then people that would be at this character's funeral just aren't at the funeral on the TV show or the movie because said actor wasn't able to make it or said actress wasn't able to make it. That shit really bothers me a lot. It shouldn't, but it does. Anywho, let's keep moving on here. Let's talk some Halloween. I don't know how much Zach's going to be able to contribute to this. I don't know if he's even seen the movie. Not at all, eh? Do you want to take this this time to maybe go grab a drink or something and get ready for Fandom News Now, which comes on immediately following this, which means, guys, if you have any more messages to get into the chat, we got 15 minutes left in the show at most. Got to be off here by 9:25. Gives us 5 minutes to get everything moved over to FNN for Zach. Whether it's a chat question or a super chat question, whatever you guys want. You got 15 minutes left, and we'll talk about it. But I really want to dive into some Halloween talk here for a second. Zach, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I may take you up on that. I got a little last-minute prepping to do, but I appreciate you guys having me on, even in spite of the technical difficulties. I've never seen my computer just randomly restart like that without any warning or provocation. So thanks, y'all, for your patience. I'm glad that we got that done now so it doesn't happen during the news show. And I'll see you guys here on the channel in about 20 minutes.
Sounds like a P-Land, man.
I'll be there.
All right. Fandom News Now, immediately following the conclusion of this podcast.
I'll be in the chat because I love the show.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, there you have it. Zach Arnold, host of Fandom News Now, comes on immediately following this. Also the host of IPC and his Cult. What is it? Cult?
Like the Indianapolis Colts. Colt Varsity Productions.
Varsity. There we
that's
go.
That's the name of the team that I do high school broadcasting for their football and baseball teams.
You get some good
You mean
numbers
you're not
over
a
there,
cult leader?
No, I'm not a cult leader, although I could probably start a cult the way I've got a following growing over there.
I was going to say. Oh, wow. Anyways, man, thanks a bunch for everything.
Oh, thanks for having me. See y'all in a bit.
There he goes. That's Mr. Zach Arnold on his way out of here. All right, guys. Let's talk about what makes Halloween 4 in my opinion, a great sequel. Kieran, correct me if I'm wrong here, man. I know you just got big. That's what she said.
I just did get big. Yep. You said Halloween 4, and I just fucking.
Right. So let me ask you, Ben. I believe Halloween 4 is your favorite Halloween movie, is it not?
Yes, it is.
So let's talk what makes Halloween 4 a great sequel. I'm going to let you go first because then I'm going to get a little geeky with this shit.
Well, I mean,
a great Halloween sequel, to be exact.
I mean, first of all, let's get the knock out of there. The mask is not the best mask. Not even close. I don't remember where it was in my list, but that wasn't it. The way that Michael moves in that movie is somewhere in the middle for me. Somewhere in the middle for me, to be honest. But, you know, when you talk to the hardcore fans, that's what they're looking at. When they're talking about the best Michael, they're always like, but the mask was this. But the actor was, you know, not too big. Or in Halloween 4, he moves very robotically, in my opinion.
Terminator-like.
He's got this puffed up chest, and he's always kind of
shoulder pads.
Yeah, just like robotic moving. Yeah. So yeah, to get those things out of the way, let's see. Like, Loomis is probably it's the best Loomis we get. I think, honestly, it's amazing. All the scenes with him and I mean, when they almost meet each other, they don't really, and then
I had to. Loomis is fucking amazing. Like,
yeah.
Like, sort of interrupt here, but like, the best part of Halloween 4 is not the clever storytelling they do, or the fact it's just a really good sequel dating back to the original. The fact that they get away with basically telling you what happens in past movies in a very 5-minute sort of opening sequence. It's not the fact that Michael, when he's in the bandage wraps, looks amazing. They're all strong elements of the movie. But Donald Pleasance as Loomis in Halloween 4, whether it's the crappy-looking egg side effects on his face for a little bit that are still in the movie, or anything else that he does, he's just so good in that movie. Like, oh my God, I love it. I love it so fucking much.
It is the most rewatchable of them all, I think, as well. It's the one that you could just watch. Like, you could say, I'm excited to watch Halloween 4, let's put it on. Or you catch it on Peachtree TV or AMC or any, one of those, one of those sorts of things running a marathon. Like 4, I'll always watch. It's just fantastic. And yeah, I think it's probably the one that represents the, like, good guy, bad guy, Batman, Joker type thing about Loomis and Michael. And fantastic story, and it has the best ending. I get you to play that ending on my non-Halloween shows all the time because I don't give a fuck if people don't know what it's from. It's just awesome, and like, I don't know, it's fantastic. Like, the ending is amazing, beyond the fact that it's a little bit of overacting. But it's fucking awesome, and I really enjoyed the idea that they had her become the killer. And I mean, you can say what you want about 5. They fucked it up, but in 4, it's awesome. So
they fucked it up is probably a gross understatement.
The problem with me saying that they fucked it up like that, and then everyone being like, yeah, that's like, that's not even it. I like number 5, so I wish they would have went the way that everybody wanted, just like everyone wanted. But I also enjoyed Halloween 5. I like Halloween, 1. I haven't seen 3 still, but other than 3, I like 1 through 6. I like the numbered ones. I like them all. I'll watch them all. None of them bother me in any way that's substantial. But I do think that, yeah, actually, just like Fat Pat says, Loomis with the priest, Loomis at the gas station, the meeting, the little meeting that they have between them, like, fantastic. It's awesome. I love, and yeah, I just think, as a Halloween fan myself, my favorite thing that brings it over any other horror movie for me is that it has a character I love other than the bad guy. And I love Loomis more than probably any other horror character. He's my favorite horror character. And this is the best part of him that we get.
Entertainment Wizard says Halloween 5 fucked everything up. Yeah, I'm with you. It's shit. You want to talk about shit masks? Halloween 5. It starts there. Mitchell, our boy Mitchell, sends in, a $4 super chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel on that level, Mitch. We love you, man. And now Matt Whitfield's in here with a $10 super chat. Michael is built like a Bucks defense lineman in H4, robotic and clumsy.
Oh, that's interesting. I feel like Shaq Barrett, Vita Vey, Jason Pierre-Paul, they all fucking did pretty well. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers had problems with them, specifically.
Aaron Rodgers is Michael in Halloween 5. Down on his knees playing with his chains. Look, Loomis is so good in that movie. I've seen a bunch of you already in the chat talk about The Priest. It was just recently revealed a spin-off idea that was out there for The Priest, which I just found hilarious. We are going to end this show in about 7 minutes' time, and we're going to talk about another horror movie that might be getting a sequel, which I can't even begin to fathom, and it seems like a fitting way to go out on. We'll get to that in a second. Kieran, one of the other reasons why I really love Halloween 4 is we go back to that pacing thing we were talking about earlier on in the show. And I know Frank Riker has not said anything in the chat. I don't think Frank has said anything in the chat in weeks for whatever reason. But I know he's listening because he sent me a message on Messenger earlier. And I'm pretty sure, I don't want to misspeak for Frank, but I'm pretty sure H4 is either his favorite Halloween movie or his favorite Halloween sequel. It's one of the two. But one of the reasons that I love it, and I don't know if this is why Frank loves it, but I know other people that love the movie, is the movie's paced so well. Like, the opening sequence in the movie is one of the best in all of Halloween. But, like, the movie flies by, man. Every time I watch Halloween 4, it's like, oh, this felt like it was 45 minutes long. It's actually about an hour and a half or so, or a little less than that. But, like, the movie's paced so well. It's not a roller coaster. It's just like a rocket ship. It takes off, and it never really slows down. So you definitely got to strap yourself in for the pacing for H4. What did you think of the pacing, dude?
I can't comment on the pacing unless I have seen the movie ultra recently, because I mean, I can't say that it has any pacing problems, and I would assume that that's a big thing about rewatchability. So I would assume that the pacing is great, but I can't I would have to watch it and then give you the opinion right after.
Kenny says, Sean, with Superman's future on film up in the air, what would you like to see in a new story on film for the Man of Steel? Your pitch. Man, Kenny, I'm not a big Superman movie guy. I quite liked Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. I thought it was really good. I thought Kevin Spacey, even though he's a scumbag of a human being, was a good Lex Luthor. I quite liked Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was pretty good. I thought Batman vs. Superman was good. I'm not a big fan of the older Superman films, which might piss off some people because, everybody's got I don't know. There's just this group of, just most fans in general seem to think that, if it was the first one done, it has to be the best because it's the original. And maybe that's the case in some circumstances, but I don't think that that's the case all around. So my pitch for a Superman movie, man, I wouldn't. I don't have much interest in seeing a Superman movie. What I would do is do what they're doing with this CW show that's apparently HBO quality, and you take a guy like John Campea, who he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, can't stand Supergirl, can't stand some of the Superman films, was meh on Smallville. He does love Man of Steel. Dude is completely blown away by Superman and Lois. I have not seen any of Superman and Lois yet. I'm hoping that Jade and I get a chance this weekend to sit down and at least watch the first couple episodes. I know Mayans debuted this week. That's like Kieran, you and I were talking earlier. Like, good luck on finding 4 free hours during the week to fucking watch Justice League. Like, I haven't seen a single episode of Superman versus Lois. There's a show. Superman and Lois. I haven't seen a single minute of Mayans, which debuted either last night or the night before, and I love that show. It's a Sun spinoff.
That's Sean's pitch. Superman versus Lois.
Superman versus Lois? Oh, man. Here's my pitch, Kenny. Let's go back to when Clark Kent was in high school, and we find out how he finds out about his origins, and he grows up best friends with Lex Luthor. And oh, wait, someone already did that. It's called Smallville. Which, by the way, Kenny, I know you and I have been talking a little bit about this. I just watched episode 100 today of Smallville. We all know that what one that was. That was a big landmark episode with a couple of major deaths. One sticks, one doesn't. Yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, before we let you
I got an opinion on that one, though.
Oh, do you? What would your pitch be, man?
So, not specifically my pitch, but Superman is a character that I am like kind of love-hate with. I think that Superman, as a kid, it bothered me because I felt like he could always beat someone. He could fly around the world backwards and reverse time, and like all this crazy stuff always bothered me because it's like, well, what kind of bad guy can compare to that? But getting to being older and more mature, I realized the best version of Superman in any comics or movies that I've seen is when Superman has to make a moral dilemma, a moral choice that's really kind of like on a philosophy sort of level. So like, in terms of like Spider-Man trying to save his girlfriend over the world or things like that, those are the only things that Superman, that's what makes Superman exciting. And they had a lot of that when it came to Smallville, and that made Smallville really great. There was a lot of like, well, I could just fucking do this and save him, but I can't reveal myself to the world. And, anything that has some sort of dilemma. I do know that one thing I really did like was Superman versus the Elite for that reason. It's a cartoon. It's one of the direct to DVD animated 45-minute ones. But yeah, so if Superman is going to go to theater, I don't need to see Superman versus Darkseid or Superman versus any of these like super bad guys. That's why Lex Luthor is his greatest enemy, because he makes him choose between different things that might have a like he gives them a choice between two bad things, and Superman has to be like, fuck, which one is better? I can do everything, but can I save the world, save Lois, and have no collateral damage?
It's one of the reasons why I love Smallville so much is they tell the story of Lex and Clark being best friends. And obviously Lex is even a bit of a shady individual at the beginning. But really it's a combination of Clark Kent, Jonathan Kent, and Lionel Luthor that create the Lex Luthor that we know as a villain in the end. He gets heavily mistreated by all three of those characters at times, which leads to him doing even more questionable things. And so yeah, I don't think I'd have a pitch for a movie, man. I want to see what they're doing with Superman and Lois. It sounds like what my pitch would have been for a Smallville revival. And even though it's not a Smallville revival, I'm excited to see it. So I am looking forward to that. Stay tuned for Fandom News Now next, because Zach just sent me a message and we got some Game of Thrones news, people. Some big-time Game of Thrones news coming on Fandom News Now. And the source is from Discussing Film. If you haven't have the time to stick around, hopefully you do, though. Fandom News Now is a great show. Kieran, on Tuesday, we're going to talk a little bit more about this Leprechaun thing. In 30 seconds or less, pitch to me what the next Leprechaun sequel should be, because it sounds like it's going to happen.
The next Leprechaun sequel. The next Leprechaun sequel should have 3 leprechauns in it instead of just one. And they should all be fighting with each other, because more leprechauns equals more goodness. You just don't know.
That's my reaction.
I'm sure that would give you pacing issue problems.
Oh boy, yes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Fandom Empire Live tonight. Big thanks to Kieran and Zach for helping out on tonight's show. Truthfully, I wasn't sure I was going to even make it earlier. So another $2 super chat in for Mitchell, who sent no questions in with his super chats tonight. Just supported the channel on that level. Mitch, we love you, buddy. Don't go anywhere. And again, don't forget to send something in, whether it's a question or a comment. We want to make sure that you're not just supporting the channel, but getting your money's worth as well. Big thanks to our chat mods. I didn't see Toronto Freddy here tonight, but I know Frank Riker was around. Jade was around. Kieran was on the show. I don't think I've seen Tommy B in here once, even though he said he would be. So I don't know what happened with Tommy B.
Damn that Tommy B.
Hopefully all is well with Tommy B. Anyways, guys, Fandom News Now is up next. Let me quickly grab a link, because it will not be... You can't just stick on this page and then it'll switch to it. Sadly, YouTube does not work that way, although that would make a hell of a lot more sense, wouldn't it? That probably makes too much sense for YouTube. Here's the link. It's posted in the chat. We'll see everybody over there. The fun continues for another half an hour over on Fandom News Now. Kieran, where can everybody find you at, man? What's coming up next for you and Scary Terry there?
You can come and check out the Rick and Morty fan show. You can visit the Rick and Morty fan show with an ampersand instead of the and word on Facebook. You can check me out on Instagram at Kieran_FE for Rick and Morty content and Star Wars content and maybe even some Fandom Empire stuff. And I think I got a Twitter. I think it's just at my name. Who knows?
No, it's FE. It's FE. You have FE there now. I think it's Kieran_FE.
At Twitter too?
I think so. Now you have me confused.
Well,
we'll figure it out.
Shit. I just want to give a shout out to Justin McEwen, who was here for a little bit. He's one of my Rick and Morty guys. Helps me out with lots of things. And yeah, just come find me. I like everyone. I like every single person in the chat. I like y'all.
Come at me. Kieran has his gold stars ready, people. Ready and willing to give to everybody.
Yep. I like everybody. I like all movies. I don't complain about shit.
Fandom News Now is next, everybody. We'll see you in there. Also, reminder that the Fandom Empire Best Villain March Madness competition, you'll see everything go out Saturday. Finally going to have some time to sit down and do it Saturday. Big thanks for all the support, everybody. Don't forget, you can check out the Fandom Empire Patreon, www.patreon.com/FandomEmpire, because that is the way. On behalf of Kieran and Mr. Zach, I'm Sean. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.